Cool. Okay. Welcome everybody to the second episode of the Mustard Seed Kingdom podcast. I'm the host, Andrew, and I'm very honoured today to be joined by Georgi Job, who I have gotten to know over the last few years. And I just want to basically hand over to Georgi to share any life experiences, God encounters, passions, and purposes that she feels on her heart to share, and then I may ask questions as we go along. Over to you, Sister Georgi.
Tēnā koe, and good afternoon, Andrew. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak today on your podcast. And I have prepared, and I'm not too sure how well, but I've tried to, break it up over the many years that I have lived, and break it down to the intro and my life experiences and what I'm into now, my family, and my culture and those sorts of things.
Awesome.
And of course my spirituality, which is very important as well, based on the teachings of Jesus Christ from the Bible. So
awesome.
I have a Christian background.
Yeah.
Kia ora, everyone. So I'm Māori, but I also have European heritage from England and Ireland, from the Ormsby family, but also from France, of the French extraction of the Hettet family. Those are two main families, and on my father's side from Portugal.
Awesome.
So, but he and also English as well. So, not unusual for the New Zealand population to have that kind of genealogy, but special to me and to our family. Yes.
Very cool.
I have 3 children, and they have had their own children, so I've got grandchildren, and in fact they're at an age where they're basically going into their own careers. There's some, I have some great grandchildren as well,
cool.
Who are not old enough to have careers, but they're certainly those sorts of things are important. And also my culture, that's important to me. My traditional background of marae, farming. I come from the King Country, Central North Island. It's where I was brought up in Tikuiti and Otrahonga, close to the Waitomo Caves. So I come from main tribal marae in Tikuiti, called Te Tō Kanganui Anoho, and in my hapu, I come from a little marae called Kapatu, but has spawned thousands of my relations. Yes,
cool.
So something we're very proud of as well. In terms of, so I talked to you about my spirituality, which is based on Jesus' teachings and the Bible, and of course our Lord, and also my Māori tikanga, which is based on guardianship, leadership, rangatiratanga, and taking care of people.
Yeah.
and also taking care of everything that we're connected to in nature. So animals, plants, trees, the sky, the
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
the sea, and and the rivers, mountains, all, just
Yeah.
the environment as a
Yeah.
whole that is, it comes from a spiritual creation from God.
Yeah.
And what he asks of us is to, be responsible as his sons and daughters and take care of the earth and have a relationship with him and our Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So that's me in a nutshell. Certainly, I'm very interested in how my family has developed over the years, and I view it that they are happy and in what they do, and that makes me happy. Your
Yeah.
father is also happy about that as well, and so it just makes us proud parents
Yeah.
of our children and grandchildren. They have also had a Christian upbringing as well. I know that they are also spiritually aware, um, and so they seek their own way of expressing
Yeah.
their relationship with God and creation. So that's they're adults now, so
Yeah.
it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to ask me, Andrew? Or you were
When
okay
you look,
for me to?
yeah,
Okay.
just when we're talking about your upbringing and stuff, and how you were saying about you had the Mariah there, and then and that's like lots of people have come from that. Are there any special memories that you have looking back at the Mariah times, like any special, I don't know, like communal meals or get-togethers, anything that really stands out as being really special?
The marae was the centre of our social development when
Yeah.
I was young.
Yeah.
So that was in the 50s and 60s, and right up to when I was having my children.
Yeah.
And it still is important to
Yeah.
me. So,
Yeah.
but there's special experiences where we had our weddings, we
Yeah.
had politics on the marae,
Hmm.
where you could see the old time, what they call whai kōrero, and the debate of the
Uh-huh.
elders, including my grandfather
Yeah.
and his brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
who were steeped in Māori tradition and
Mm.
the processes of debate.
Nice.
And so it was. I
Mm.
feel now that I was privileged. I'm
Mm.
not too sure. I don't. The debates today are very much influenced by, I guess, the society that we live in, and
Yeah.
just looking at what the Maori parties and the ructions that are there at present,
Mm.
and some of the ways that they present themselves,
Mm.
I have concerns with
Yeah. Okay.
as well. Um, so,
So there's a
but
protocol. I'm kind of picking. I'm
God,
picking what you're saying. What you're saying is, in those days when you were learning, watching the debates, there was like a protocol and a respect, I'm guessing.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
sometimes they got into some, areas of really strong
Right.
debate and expression,
Yeah.
and maybe later on going out the back and settling it like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
a couple of um,
Yeah.
yeah, settling it out the back in private. So, but no,
Yeah.
I never saw much of that. It was there was ceremony. and a process to follow. And most of it was done outside. It wasn't done in the marae. And so it was about being in the elements. And in terms of the being in the elements and of nature, and so whether it was raining, sun shining, or whatever, if the weather was perfect, that they would expose themselves to the elements and
fascinating.
and talk outside, and we call it the marae atia, and so that's where the debate occurred. When you went into the house, and also in terms of debate, when you had it outside there, it was basically a setting of where war could happen. If the debate got really serious, it could trigger a war.
Right.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Or some I guess something that that could cause conflict. Between tribes. And even families. So, but inside the marae, I was always taught that peaceful kōrero or discussions would take place in the marae.
Right.
So, no big arguments or anything. No big debates. So it was a big part of my life, and because we lived where the coast, where we could get access to the coast. I lived on a farm where we had our own source of meat and gardens, for, not just for us, but that family that came to visit, and they could have access to the gardens as well. It was a wonderful time. I still love the harvest time, and we'd go and help harvest the potatoes, watermelons,
sounds awesome.
Corn, and blackberries, fruit trees of different varieties, nectarines, peaches, pears, apples. Every family had an orchard, so you might remember those things too, Andrew.
I can remember my parents had like a couple of fruit trees or something like that in the back garden when I was little. Yeah.
New Zealand tradition, you see, and Māori tradition as well. Yeah. So I treasure my upbringing. In terms of that background, and of course I did, like many others did, went through my primary school and high school, college education, and left at an early age. I should have stayed on longer, but there were a lot of relatives in the cities and lots of jobs.
Yes.
So I joined the migration of the rural New Zealanders and Māori to the urban setting. So that's where I ended up, and stayed with family, of course, and started working in Auckland. And later got married to my husband, and we had a family, our own home, and by the time the 80s and 90s came, our children had grown up, and they'd starting to go to work and also to university, get a higher education. and those sorts of things, or develop a profession with the banks and other government institutions as well, and education as well.
So you were in Auckland until your children had pretty much like gone through varsity. Is that kind of right?
Yeah, I met my husband about 2 years after I'd been in Auckland. So I really married early. And had my children, and that was my life until I was 25 years of age, and then they were off at school. The children were off at school, and so I decided that I'd like to go and further my education.
Yeah.
And started at going to lectures at University of Waikato, and
cool.
studying for a bachelor's of social science, and that went on to a conjoint degree to include law.
Cool.
As well. Unfortunately, I didn't finish the whole lot of it because I had to. I started working, and I found the. I would like to have finished my law degree and finished the whole thing, and I don't like to say that, but there was professional jealousy within the organisation I worked in, and my employer was quite happy for me to continue with the studies, with my studies. But anyway, I couldn't, because of the tensions that it caused amongst other staff.
With the other staff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, and not all of them, but just a few who had influence within the organisation. I worked in industrial relations, which and mainly with the unions.
Okay.
And I was an organiser with a couple of unions, and so I worked in that area for around 20 years.
Wow.
So yeah, so that really takes me right up till today, or right up to 2020.
Okay.
But but before that, and in terms of where I am now, I had observed what was happening in our country, and it wasn't very happy with it, and especially when I started to see when we saw the sale of our assets.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
New Zealand's assets, and there was, Roger Douglas came along, then there was the National Party and the privatisation of all our assets, and I'm very unhappy about that. Yeah. So I could see that on a whole, New Zealanders were becoming poorer, and disempowered, and all the wealth was being transferred to a few individuals and corporations, including international corporations. So I didn't think that was very good. And then I jumped on the political bandwagon, and in 2011 I joined the Mana Party because I felt that they were for the people, and that they I think it was led at the time by Annette Sykes and Hone Harawira. yeah, and many Māori, supported it
Yeah.
as well. Also, the Maori Party was still around too, and a lot of people followed. A lot of Māori followed that. So with mana, it also gave it was an opportunity for it wasn't just Maori focus. It was focused on the social needs of our whole country.
Yeah.
Rather than and just a Maori electorate. However, they were unsuccessful in 2013, and I felt that this was, and they made some wrong strategic moves. I felt that they should have stood with tikanga, Māori tikanga, in terms of the concept of rangatiratanga, and good leadership based in our tikanga of tika pono and aroha, which means you try to do everything correctly, you are truthful, and you show love to others. You care about them, manaakitanga, kaitiakitanga, guardianship, and leadership. So, but anyway, it didn't. I felt that they had moved away from that, and they brought in Kim.com, and so it started to go into a bit of a freedom movement, because at the time Kim.com needed a refuge. Because the Americans wanted his extradition for his company that was uploading controversial videos, and so they wanted to extradite him out of their country. And then there was this focus on feeding people, where as I talked about before, we really wanted the focus to stay on leadership, tino rangatanga, and the responsibilities that came with that, so that you could say to people, well, we're concerned at looking after our country at a physical level, and that we are promoting values of caring within society, and I guess to ensure that everyone had equal rights, and that their rights were protected. But it sort of just turned into feeding the people. Well, if you just, it sounds very socialist, like communism to me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Feeding the people is about the people feeding themselves.
Yeah.
And so you that's the proverb about the fish. Put a man a fish, he'll feed himself for a day. Give him a net, and he'll be able to provide sustainably for the rest of his life, for his needs in terms of food, access to food, fish in this case. So in 2013, one of my nieces, she's an economist and a scientist, and she was visiting me, and I was talking to her about the collapse of the Mana Party, and I just said, I don't know what our country's going to do. Of course, the system seemed to be like New Zealand seemed to be captured. Well, it was captured by international interests.
Yeah.
And things, the TPPA, Five Eyes, and the United Nations
Mm.
and big corporations.
Mm.
So the opportunity for, the working class people,
Mm.
we're beginning to diminish.
Yeah.
And also our freedoms were also starting to be diminished.
Mm.
There's one thing that I was very concerned about was 1080 and the
Okay. Yeah.
proliferation of that throughout our country. So I joined that movement as well.
Okay.
But anyway, as I say, my niece came to see me and she talked about our history and about
Mm.
the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence that was by the Maori chiefs in 1845, and that it was still applicable in our country, and it
Yeah.
had never been it had never been dissolved,
Mm.
and
Indeed.
that it was there for us to assert
Yes.
the rights,
Mm.
the vision
Mm.
of prosperity,
Mm.
and to protect our rights, to create law that was good for the
Mm.
country, to support really good justice system,
Mm.
to maintain peace and good order, peaceful
Mm.
society, and
Mm.
also to provide a platform for free and fair trade.
Mm.
So, and then it had this whole overarching theme of unity, not just
Mm.
for Māori,
Mm.
but for the whole country.
Amen.
So
Yeah.
and also for so in the last article, it's only made up of four articles, and in the
Mm.
last article, it paid particular attention to the immigrants that were coming in, and particularly the British
Mm.
immigrants that were coming in at the time.
Mm.
And of course, the king at the time was King William IV,
Mm.
and the chiefs had organised with him a flag
Mm.
so that our country would be recognised,
Mm.
and our ships that were trading and other ships
Mm.
from not just Māori, but there were
Mm.
immigrants now living, or British citizens living in New Zealand,
Mm.
who would come under the law of the chiefs, and
Mm.
so they would have to integrate into that legal
Yeah.
system of
Mm.
under he whakaputanga.
Amen.
And so in Article 4, they were given a name that described them, and that they were given the name of Atawhai.
Mm-hmm.
And that name would obligate the chiefs
Mm-hmm.
to take care of them, and that's really
Mm-hmm.
what Atawhai means, and
Mm-hmm.
also to ensure their integration
Yeah.
into a
Mm.
society that took care, that looked after them,
Mm. Mm.
um, and so that they could contribute as well within that society.
Mm.
And for that, King William would provide his protection,
Mm.
or that the chiefs had also requested from him, and
Mm.
so there was two sides of it:
Yeah.
protection from King William, but
Mm.
also for the chiefs within their society to protect
Look after.
the
Yeah.
British subjects that were coming
Yeah.
into New Zealand
Yeah.
at the time,
Mm.
and to unify
Mm.
under
Mm.
the Constitution of
Yeah.
the Declaration of Independence,
Mm.
or as most of us know it, as he whakaputanga. I
Mm.
just want to say that in 2014, the Attorney General at the time wrote in the Waitangi Tribunal report that the treaty, because there was a claim by Ngāpuhi that they never ceded their sovereignty, and under the treaty, and so the outcome of that was that the treaty did not take away the sovereignty of the chiefs and of Māori, and then it did not, but rather what the treaty did was actually an attempt to take sovereignty away from the chiefs and the Maori people. And then he said that the only law that has precedence in New Zealand is he whakaputanga.
Amen.
But he said it makes no difference because we're going to wake up in the morning and the New Zealand government will still be governing in New Zealand, simply because Māori hadn't asserted he whakaputanga.
I see. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they just rolled along with the treaty. So in terms of the treaty itself, from our research, it was never ratified by the British Parliament, and so for me, politically, New Zealand should be aligned with he whakaputanga, that or where the sovereignty is protected by the chiefs. They have a body that's called the Wakaminenga, and that's a national congress, and it's within that congress that national decisions can be discussed by the representatives who sit in that congress that come from around New Zealand. Represent hapu and other communities, including and a lot of Māori might disagree with me, but when the chief said we atify those coming into the country, you're not going to what's the word now? Sort of sanction their participation in other areas, So at a political level, everyone in our country that belong to New Zealand as lawful citizens and people of the land who have been born here should have, and of course legal immigrants, should have access to all of those activities within a society at a political level, employment and resources and health, and energy, all of those sorts of things. So anyway, how having all this information, over the last, from 2013 till today, I became involved with the Maori government. Maori government was formed in the early 1980s. So that's been my space for since 2016, when I was appointed as deputy leader of the Maori government, or prime minister, deputy prime minister of the Maori government, along with the prime minister of the Maori government, who was the Maori prime minister at the time, Sue Nikora. So she and that was done at Waitangi on the 5th of February in Waitangi. So, yeah, And so it was witnessed publicly.
Yeah.
And I've had people challenge it over the years but others know that these processes were undertaken.
Yeah.
And so that's who I've been involved with. I've been involved with the Maori government. Maori government was appointed by the Wakameninga Congress in 1980s, in the 1980s. I think it was 1983, but in Waitangi, and it was there as the administrator for the Congress.
Yes.
So that's been the role of Maori government, and so I've been involved with creating systems. And when I got into it, it was it lacked a lot of systems. It lacked structure. It lacked form, and it lacked function.
Yeah.
So since I've been in it, that's been my role to create structure, form, and function for the Maori government, but also so that we could present ourselves to the Wakameninga as an ongoing, viable administrator that could support them in their role, in their sovereign role. So they also have had problems of being able to get structure, form, and function, but it's all coming together. By the
just so that I'm clear, so the Te Wakameninga, they're the ones who, like, they meet in Waitangi every so often, I guess, and then they basically authorize you to be your role, and then you're sorting out all of the systems and processes. So you're basically kind of serving at their pleasure, or I don't know how to say it the right way, but is that kind of, am I getting the right idea?
Under their authority.
Under their authority,
if they wanted another government, they could very well have one, but it must be one that's aligned with he whakaputanga.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and they could never doubt our loyalty to he whakaputanga, to Maori government's loyalty to he whakaputanga, and the National Congress, the Wakameninga National Congress. So we're very loyal to them. So that's where I am at the moment, knowing that we have sovereignty, knowing that we have authority, that we have we have powers as a plural, that we can use those to protect New Zealanders, all New Zealanders who are under the jurisdiction of he whakaputanga, under the Constitution, like the American Constitution. In fact, the he whakaputanga was modelled on the American Constitution, even though it's only 2 pages. The idea is to expand out the principles that are within the Constitution and create understanding through statute. By creating statute so that we can actually use it practically to organise society in a fair and peaceful and to ensure that people's rights are protected, and we have access to resources. So and then freedom to develop our societies in the way that we want to but also aligned with at the top of the he whakaputanga is the divine law of God. So God is always at the top, and within tikanga Māori, that is the same as well. Io Matua is at the top of the apex. So there's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
And but that hierarchy has a responsibility to ensure that we are protected and that we have a fair society, and access to resources, of course. So that's what I have been, as I say, as now Mrs. Nakura, she passed away in 2020, so I was endorsed as the leader of the Maori government, Wakaminenga Maori government. So that's where I'm at today, and we communicate with people through our newsletter. But we have also been in the process of creating structure, form, and function. So based on what we need in an economy, what we need in terms of governance structure, and how we develop as a peaceful society. So we build an infrastructure of governance, of an economy, and social and good social order. I mean, if people, good social order should come out of responsibility of individuals as well. Not just how many people think today that the government's got all the answers. The government will do everything for us. Or we must go to the government and ask them what they should do. That is not a policy of Wakaminenga Maori government. There's responsibility, self-governance, and self-management of yourself as an individual. So many people have become dependent on the government. And so what we want to encourage is industriousness, entrepreneurial entrepreneurs, sorry, and businesses. We want to encourage that to happen. To have our own separate banking systems and own currency, a health system based on what is good for us. Now, I need to go back to 2020 when COVID was imposed upon us, and obviously we are on the side of that. It was imposed upon us that we had no choice, and that also it was a breach of our constitution, that there was no consent from the Congress to bring the vaccine into the country, and so we notified the government of that, and they ignored it. They ignored our notice from the National Wakaminenga up in Waitangi, and so many people were seeking somewhere to be protected, and so we did attract a lot of people that were looking for protection under the jurisdiction of He Whakaputanga, because it was a separate law that had no there was no obligation to come under the under the New Zealand Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we continue. So I mean, we actually ended up in court because in the High Court because we were supporting health practitioners, doctors, doctors and specialists to continue their practice without the obligation to, or the mandates, without the mandate for the vaccine, the mRNA vaccine. So so we were charged with issuing practicing licenses under our jurisdiction, and that only the New Zealand government could do that, and that they were the sovereign, the lawful sovereign government and parliament, and their law was sovereign, and so that we were in breach of that. We're in breach of the Finance Act and as well. So we 18 months we were in court. There were 6 High Court judges that were involved with the case, and at the end of the day, they said, well, whether it's right that Maori still retain their sovereignty, and that they have their own law separate from the New Zealand Crown. Basically, we have acquired sovereignty, and we are the Parliament at this time. And so, basically, they were saying they had the power to govern in New Zealand. Yeah. They called it acquired sovereignty, which meant it wasn't given to them. No. They had just acquired it by the actions that were taken over. 185 years. So it's 190 years since He Whakaputanga was declared. Declared as a constitution and declared our independence, and then 5 years later the treaty came into being, and so yes, it's 185 years since the New Zealand government.
So that decision,
New Zealand government, it was the British monarchy, Queen Victoria, yes, and her.
So that.
Officials.
So that decision that they made eventually, there was basically an admission that they have no right to govern.
That's correct. That is correct. They had no right to govern because they had only acquired sovereignty.
Yeah.
And of course, when you look at what the Attorney General said at the time in 2004, it was Christopher Finlayson, he asserted the precedence of He Whakaputanga as well. So it's there, but it's like I think it was who was it? One of the presidents, anyway, in the USA, they said, if we want to keep our republic in America, we have to work to keep it.
That's right. I remember that quote.
It's not a foregone conclusion. And so in terms of the Declaration of Independence of 1835, we do have to work to assert it and educate people in New Zealand if they do want protection, if they're looking for protection from false pandemics, from the loss of health sovereignty, the loss of loss of their sovereign rights, and that we are seeing every day. Free speech, freedom of speech, being blocked from accessing resources through the climate change ideology, the anti-God sentiments, open access to abortion, and of course gender fluidity from the LGBTQ plus movement ideology.
Yeah.
So New Zealand has a spiritual background of Christianity. That is our tradition.
Yeah.
Of Christianity, of tikanga, which reflects many of the values of the Bible. Maori, they embraced it, like like a fish to water. So that by the time of 1835, 90% of the Maori population, which was close to 200,000, 90% of them were Christians.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs who signed the Declaration, they were all Christians. And in a modern context today, with higher education, secular education, and a movement away from God, Māori, they have expressed opposition that our people were not highly influenced by Christianity, but they were, because like in my age, in my demographic, in all our marais, practiced Christianity and read the Bible. Everyone went to Sunday school and all of that sort of thing. So we were properly immersed into it. But still maintaining our traditions of tikanga. Which had to be good tikanga, wasn't bad in anything that was not good for us. So in my position as the leader of the Maori government, those are the values that are most important for us to promote within the Maori government, and to support and to protect within the Maori government, and also for the Wakaminenga as well. That it influences their actions as well. So I guess I wanted to talk about just. I'll spend another few minutes on this, but I think it's important about digital ID. And using our biogenics with digital ID, and also what was the central banking
system, right?
Policy as well. And so through digital ID, our access to everything and what we do, while can be marginalised.
True.
We haven't agreed to that yet, but there is from the New Zealand government, there is and around the world, there is a general consensus that all citizens will, come under that policy. So this is why we have been preparing for for an alternative
Yeah.
society.
Mm.
Oh, I wanted to talk about an analysis that we have made of New Zealand society.
Mm.
So in New Zealand, and I'll just read it out here, we have the what we call the common law citizens,
True.
and
Yep.
they accept the courts that are here, and they challenge them, but they don't think that they can, they should be removed.
Understood. Yeah.
Yes, and so as individuals, they're in a constant battle with
Yeah.
the New Zealand courts.
Mm.
There's another group in New Zealand society who absolutely, totally, fully accepting of the Crown and New
Yeah.
Zealand government authority,
Yep.
and it includes the Maori Party, iwi leadership, treaty groups, and and also those who are within the government's voting electorate. So
True.
they will accept the New Zealand Crown without question.
Mm.
There is another group which dispute the outcomes from the New Zealand Crown within the system, and that's the freedom movement. So we have a
Right.
freedom
Yeah.
movement now, and
Yeah.
they including New Zealand NZD SOS, the New Zealand doctors, and same with
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they think that the freedom movement should replace the current government system.
Okay.
So that's yes, that's where they said, that system stays, but it is populated by those within the freedom movement, or like VFF.
If
As
they
one of those
think if they think that, what system do they think they're going to use? Are they thinking that they're going to occupy Parliament or something, or what are they? The freedom people, what are they thinking they're going to do?
Well, I presume that they will use the current party system.
I see. Okay.
That's in place. They won't.
I see.
I presume that they won't get rid of that, but they will just replace.
So
they
they'll
will
still.
replace
So technically, they'll still be under the so-called Crown.
Yes, the Crown. They'll still be under the Crown, and asserting their freedom ideology under that.
Okay. Right.
The other group is those who accept Te Whakaputanga as our constitution, but they also accept the New Zealand Crown, so they participate in both jurisdictions.
Okay.
Which really doesn't work. It's either one or the other. And then there are where is it? Those who recognise the Maori government, they recognise He Whakaputanga, and they absolutely embrace it. And those are the hapu and also communities within New Zealand. Then there are those who are members of He Whakaputanga, those who do participate as members of Māori government and He Whakaputanga. They are those who do not belong to a hapu.
Yes.
That group.
Right. Yeah.
So we have to accommodate for those ones. I mean, the other ones can stay in that system. Those other groups, and those who want to be within the jurisdiction of He Whakaputanga and exercise their rights through the support of the Maori government. They need to be accommodated. So Now, you don't have to belong to a hapu to be under the jurisdiction, be within the jurisdiction of he whakaputanga. They're in it as of their own right, as men and women of the land, of the whenua, as we say, born here, born and bred here, but also becoming naturalised citizens as well within New Zealand. So, so as you put all of them together, we're one. We are united.
Yeah.
And what we say, in Māori, we say kotahitanga.
Okay.
And so we become the United Tribes and tangata atawhai, the people of New Zealand, all the people of New Zealand.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And to look, to empower ourselves with the rights and he whakaputanga, sovereign rights in there, so that we can create good laws. We have a just society, have our own justice system, and maintain peace and good order, and create a prosperous economy through free and fair trade.
Indeed.
That's it in a nutshell,
very,
really.
very cool. And so,
Yeah.
I guess going back, Sister Georgie, so 2013, when your niece mentioned this to you, that would have been quite, I'm guessing, quite the light bulb going off in your head, like when that happened, I'm guessing. Like it would have been quite the light bulb, going off in your head, like, like the light bulb
absolutely.
being turned on. Yeah.
It was, it provided a moment of clarity and a pathway for where I should proceed to. It was a gateway to our freedom.
Yes.
Gateway to freedom.
Yes.
Freedom and prosperity.
And it probably made sense, I'm guessing, also of some of the experiences you'd had up until that time. Because my guess is you probably felt deep down inside that there was something wrong with, the whole thing with the crown. You probably felt that. And I don't know, maybe you didn't, but like, was it kind of like, that makes sense. Now I get it. That's why I've been experiencing this or whatever. Yeah.
It certainly was a moment of revelation to me.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that oh, sorry, you carry on. Yeah.
Is something very positive and empowering. That there was constitutional law in our country that was, and it's recognised internationally as well. And has rights that have been embodied in the law of nations as well. So we always say that what we talk about and what we what we talk about and what we promote should be discoverable.
Yes. Yeah.
So it is certainly all the things that I talked about today are discoverable. I mean, he whakaputanga sits in the National Library with the Treaty of Waitangi and the other, women's suffrage document by Kate Shepherd, who she led the movement for the vote for women. So there's those three documents, and he whakaputanga was the first one, and it's still applicable today. It is the law of precedence in our country, but it's really up to New Zealanders
to make use of it.
To embrace it and use it to stop the oppression and to stop the plan for global governance.
mm,
that is only coming with, anti-God, anti-human
mm, mm.
ideologies.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, and,
No,
and and
very, very
certainly a lot
interesting.
of people will recognise that, and
Mm.
they it's not a future that they want for themselves, their families,
No, no,
and their children.
no.
Mm.
And I think for just going back to something you said really early on, you're talking about the care for not just people, but also for our environment. And I think that's something that struck me about Maori people, for quite a long time. I figured this out that you've got something which is a very holistic kind of approach to life, which kind of includes, the whole thing. And to be honest, like it's just an observation. I think that's very appealing to people,
Mm.
especially these days. People realize that we have to look after the environment, and that we're preparing something for the next generation. I think it's a good thing. And the other thing I've noticed about Maori people is that you've got a very strong focus on community and family, and I think that again is a very strong suit in terms of governance, because if you take that ethos or that kind of way of philosophy into governance, then you're very much more likely to care about what's good for everyone, and not just, like you said also earlier, what's good for a few. So
Mm.
I see those things, just again, like me looking at it from a white guy's kind of perspective. I see those things as very much a positive um, framework, to kind of govern from. Um, and I'm just saying a few things here, but the other thing that I kind of feel that I've got in the sense of in our discussions, that we've had previously, is that what the Te Waka Meaninga is endeavouring to achieve is definitely fairness for everyone in the nation. I haven't sensed at all any kind of sense of uh, um, prioritization of any particular race or creed or anything. It seems to me like you've got a very overarching sense of just wanting everyone to be benefited. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So
Mm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
where did that kind of uh, where did those kind of philosophies or ethoses or what have you kind of come from, and what's made you so, I guess, passionate, I guess, about like really championing this? Because my guess is that you could have heard about this in 2013 and thought, oh, that's interesting, and then you know maybe not done anything, but clearly something happened there which has really motivated you to go, all in basically to really champion this. So what do you think? What was that? What was it that kind of
Yeah.
motivated you?
I think the kind of society that I was brought up in
Yeah.
was one where there was fairness, where
Mm,
that you had a responsibility. You
mm,
train and you work, you have
mm,
skills
yeah.
to help your community, your
Mm,
country,
mm,
and it wasn't just oh, the government will do this and do that for you.
yeah.
You don't have to worry. And I
Mm,
like I like that kind of society. I like the
mm,
also the culture of us New Zealanders all having their own homes,
yeah.
um, and working for the good of
Mm,
our country. And then obviously when we got older, we had a social security service that would reward
mm,
those who had
mm.
contributed to the country.
Right.
Like
Right.
those in the military, those older
Mm,
workers, and those in
mm,
business, and provided taxation, all of those.
mm,
They have contributed to a certain lifestyle within our
mm,
country, and
mm,
they should be supported in their retirement and old age. So I thought it was it was good, but
yeah,
but you can see how vulnerable it was, because you had corporations who saw humans, saw the people to be commoditized,
right,
and everything, and under that you would be you're commoditized. You're a slave to the system. And in terms of how the money system is set up, the high interest rates, inflation, it's all controlled by economic activity that is controlled by the banks, by private banking corporations, and large.
Which obviously doesn't have the same ethos. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
I just another thing that I just feel to say, and you already know this, but just feel to say it because I think it's important. Like, I personally recognize you as my civic governance authority leader person in the nation. I just feel it's worth saying that. And as best as I'm able, I've been endeavouring to fit into that group of people who have come completely out of the other system, and I'm keen to keep supporting that. And I guess
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I guess and I know there are others who are on the same journey, transitioning ourselves out of that old system and into the correct one. I guess another question I have for you is to do with courage. And like, again, looking from the outside, I look at you and I think, well, you have to be very courageous to do what you've done. And I'm guessing you would have come up against opposition, not just from the NZ government, but also from just my senses, you've come up with opposition even from other Maori people. So like, how do you handle that when you face opposition? And what do you remind yourself of in those kind of situations?
Well, obviously people who are angry and aggressive, it's best not to engage with them.
Yeah.
But also those who want to take you down, it's the same thing. You have to continue to gather with those who are of like mind.
Yeah.
And always, you can't run away from conflict, and you can't run away from opposition. But we shouldn't. From my perspective, I don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
And their goals and objectives for recommending a Maori government to achieve for the people of New Zealand. And so my mind focuses on that. And of course, my family is very important to me. And being able to gather with them at other times, and of course my extended family of my hapu, and other tribes, in terms of maybe attending funerals, family gathering, weddings and things like that, social gathering.
Cool. Very cool.
It's important. But the iwi leaders and those who are part of the New Zealand Crown system, I don't associate within that framework. Because as I said before, with that analysis that they're completely completely embrace the Crown system, although they, the Maori Party fights has a a theatre of opposition to the government.
Yes.
And but actually they couldn't survive
No.
in the system
No.
without the government.
Yeah.
They have to go by the rules of the New Zealand Crown.
Yeah.
And one thing I've been very disappointed with our people within that Crown system, that they denied the damage that was caused and our rights that were taken away, damage, the injuries and the deaths that were caused by the COVID vaccine.
Right.
And in fact, they embraced it and set up clinics everywhere because of all the funding that came, and then set a culture up on our marae that is even there today, where you feel that those who haven't been vaccinated, I think it's dissipating now, that we're sort of like the outcast,
Right.
Yeah. It really has caused a lot of damage, not only to general New Zealand society, but also to Māori society.
Can I ask a question, Sister Georgie, about that? Like on the marae, when you have your gatherings, do you think that the young people of today, like people who are like, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, that kind of age group, do they get taught about He Waka Pūtanga, say, like on just any typical marae?
Well, what I do know is that if we really wanted to talk about He Whakapūtanga, is that it has to be a He Whakapūtanga friendly marae.
Okay.
Because
right.
But we've seen that opposition to He Whakapūtanga from Māori people. But experienced that. So I think not so much up in the northern area. He Whakapūtanga is spoken about and supported in most Maori communities and marae up that way.
It's cool. Yeah.
And it's then in the southern tribes, it is becoming more open to hearing about it. And even the government, New Zealand Crown, they are very much aware of the power of He Whakapūtanga to change to change the Crown system that we have in New Zealand, corporate rule over the people. So what we haven't got is government of the people, by the people, for the people, and that's what He Whakapūtanga promotes.
Amen. Yeah. Well, I had an encouraging little anecdote from my oldest son. So my oldest son he's into the gym and stuff, and he met up with this other guy here in Christchurch who's doing gym with him. And my son obviously talked to him about you, and he said that he knew you because you had come to his school down here in Christchurch and actually told them about He Whakapūtanga. So I don't know when that happened, but like, you're slightly famous down here in the South Island.
It might have been someone else. I know
it might have been. Okay.
There was someone else down there. That was doing the
like a
He Whakapūtanga awareness talks.
Okay. Maybe it wasn't you. Okay. Well, this
No, it
this
was.
other guy.
It
Okay.
definitely wasn't me.
No.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's
So,
encouraging.
so that was great. You know,
That's
her
encouraging.
work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
What was her name now? I think Annette, someone, I can't remember
Ah,
what
yeah,
her,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
Right.
and also she was part of the Maori government as well,
Yeah.
and then she went to England.
Ah,
So I'm not sure whether she's back in the country or
right.
not, but
Oh,
certainly
cool.
she at the time she raised all that awareness, and
Mm, mm,
very,
mm.
I myself was very happy with the work
Cool.
that she had done. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. No, that's all cool. And is there anything else that you feel really strongly about, or that you want to just sort of mention or highlight?
Well, I think we need to take control back of our
Mm.
lives,
Yeah.
and with all the technology today that is like sitting there ready to take over our lives.
Mm.
Not for there is what I'm concerned about is the nefarious use.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know how that we it's obviously China is the model in terms of social control.
Yeah.
They have digital ID there, and of
Mm.
course it controls how your access to food, and
Yeah.
there's social scorecards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and that's we have our rights
Mm.
as
Mm.
human beings, and we have the right to decide for ourselves.
Mm.
Um, and one thing also that's really important to me, where we now have a society that is rejecting God,
Mm.
and promoting anti-God, anti-Christian, anti-family,
Mm.
anti two sexes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm.
promoting all those kinds of things. Well, in terms of our those who embrace God and embrace the teachings of the Bible,
Yeah.
it's what helps you to have a conscience.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Mm.
know, if
Mm.
you haven't got and gives you a framework of what is acceptable
Yeah.
relations in society, behaviour,
Mm.
and what
Mm.
is safe, even though at the time you don't appreciate that your parents have said to you, you shouldn't do that because that is going to harm you,
Mm.
and you're disrespecting
Mm.
those things that protect you.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't commit crime. You shouldn't. You should aim towards the ideal
Yeah.
of what human relationships should
Yeah.
be.
Mm.
So my phone's going to go off, so I think I'll
That's so
I'll
good,
leave
Sister
the message
Georgie.
now. Yes.
Cool. That's been very, very cool, and it's been great chatting to you. And hopefully things continue in the upward direction.
Thank you, Andrew.
No,
We'll catch up soon.
indeed. Cool. See ya.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.